Good evening. Welcome to our Sunday night down at Party in the Pub. With a difference tonight, we have got three amazing first-time authors. And my first author tonight is Joy Cox, who has written an amazing children's book. So if you parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles are looking for something to buy for your children, this book I can guarantee will be an amazing success. Over to Joy to let us know what the title of her book is called, where she got the idea from, and all about it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Karen, for inviting me to come and speak. Hello, everyone. Just want to wish you a happy birthday for tomorrow as well.
Thank you.
Right, so the title of the book, is it possible to do a screen share? And
Oh, yeah, by all means. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So fantastic. So the title of the book, can you see that okay?
Not yet.
We can't see the screen yet, no.
Okay.
I've allowed.
Yes, okay.
That's it.
Okay, so the title of the book is The Lucker Story, and it's a story about a comfort blanket coming to life.
Oh.
So basically, I don't know about everyone else, but do any of you have comfort items? So it can be things like comfort food, comfort drinks, maybe a special dressing gown you wear or a jumper that makes you feel all sort of cozy and safe, or maybe even teddies, things like that. Even as grown-ups, so the Travelodge hotel chain, they say that 35% of grown-ups take something with them if they stay away from home. So it might be a teddy or a blanket or a special pillow or a pillowcase or crystals or a special trinket. So something, something that makes them feel comfortable. So the other idea for the book was that basically I used to have a comfort blanket when I was young. I've still got one now. So, and it used to be called a lucker. So it was a blanket, and I used to say it was lucky. Then it became a lucker, and then it became Mr. Lucker.
Good job, Sal.
So so that's what happened. And then what happened was my brother got diagnosed with when he was an adult, and so only a couple of years ago, he got diagnosed with Asperger's and autism. And he's always loved drawing. So this is how this started, really. We just started it off as a family project, just something to do for a bit of fun and making the most of his talents and what he liked to do. Then he started calling it a book. So I thought, oh, let's just do it. Let's just make a book. So that's basically what happened. I'll quickly show you some of the pictures. So we had someone, we met a lady called Charlotte online, and basically we were looking for somebody that could help turn Chris's drawings into digital images.
Your brother draws out, is that brilliant?
Thank you. He drew a version of them, and then the lady that we met online, she basically turned them into digital images like this.
Oh,
So
excellent.
If I can find another presentation, I'll show you my brother's original drawings, just to give you a flavour. I mean, I was talking to somebody else earlier, and if anybody else wants to write a book, you can do it in a very cheap way. You could do it in PowerPoint, and you could take photographs of your pictures, and you can do it in a very simple way. You needn't actually turn it into a physical book. So these were my brother's original drawings. Can you see those?
No, not yet, no.
Okay. I might have to stop the share and start another share. I'd quite like to show you, if I can, his original drawings, just to give you a feel. So see it now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Little
excellent.
baddies, wow.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
They're really nice.
Sure.
And then we met this lady called Charlotte, who's very reasonably priced. So she's a younger lady, a student. So that's another good way, if you want to get into writing children's book, look for students, because their rates are good and they're very keen and very up to date with modern technology. So she was very, very reasonable. Too cheap, to be honest. Yeah, so that's how we came up with the story. So we did lots of time and effort went into getting everything just perfect. And other characters in the book, I'll just quickly tell you about them. I don't want to take up too much time. We've got Jenny, who's the main character. Then we've got her dog called Billingham, which was based on our dog, Chris and I's childhood dog that's since passed away. And this dog here is called Titch. So he's based on my husband's old dog. Then we've got our mum and dad in it, who are up here. So we just wanted to sort of like immortalise some things, some pets and some people. And then there's Mrs. W. Itch. So she's the witch. And these are our cats, Scratch and Sniff. And this is Ollie, the naughty boy next door. And he's got a little spider over Jenny's head. And that, of course, is Mr. Lucker. So this is basically what happened. Chris, we started calling it a book, and then we turned it into a book. So, and if anyone would, like any help, or, if anyone would like to get started, please get in contact and I'll help you. So, yeah. So that's what happened. They moved to a house, and there was magic in the house because it used to be owned by a magician. And Jenny's blanket came to life. And the witch tries to steal the magic. So she wants the magic for herself. She's not a very good witch. So so that's basically the story of it. So
Very interesting.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is there any chance of this becoming a children's TV show?
It's a very good question. I mean, you never know, do you? You never know until you try. Oh, can I quickly show you a tiny little video?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
If that will play. Yeah, so I'll quickly show you a little video. So I met a chap online, another chap, and he basically animates images. And he did this little video for me. So I'll just quickly play it for you. So yeah, you don't know till you try, do you?
No.
And you've got to start somewhere. So, and again, this was very reasonable, really.
I love it. Absolutely
Yeah,
love
me
it.
too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
I can just see that being being on CBeebies or CITV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, if it does, you'll have to. I'll invite you along to the launch. You can be my special guest. So it's really nice to get the support and the encouragement. I'd love to send you all a copy. So if you want to private message me with your address, I'd love to send you a copy. Maybe you can have a read of it yourself if you've got any children in your life, or anyone that you think might like it. You could pass it on to them. So.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you very much for joining us, Jay.
Joe.
Sorry.
Joy, sorry.
Sorry.
Don't know where we get Joe from. I think I might have messaged you a couple of times saying Joe. Sorry.
It's fine. People call me Joe as well. It's fine. It's a common thing. Thank you, Karen.
Okay.
Was Joy, were you interviewed on one of the parts of the 2 p.m. ones?
No, not yet.
No. Okay.
No, that is something else that is that will be in the pipeline for next year. That's if Joy wants to do that, because that's something else I do, is interview people and take them from their childhood all the way up to present day. So I find a lot more about people. And again, that goes on to YouTube. Plus it's you get a copy for your social media. And, you know, it's one way of free promotion.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Good.
much.
So our next book author is Silvana,
Oh, right.
all the way from Italy, no, Spain,
So,
who lived in Italy. I know there was Italy somewhere. And
I
she was,
lived in it a long time ago, really a very long time ago, because I lived in the UK for 10 years and then in Sweden, and then I was traveling the world. So
that's it. And you've written a book about London.
Ooh.
So would you like to explain how you got the title of your book and the original, you know, how you got the story of that book of London?
That's
And
a very good question, Karen. How did you get the title of your book? That is okay. Now I wasn't prepared for that question. Okay.
you can also share your screen if you want to and show us.
I will just
Or just talk.
yeah, talk, because I mean I would like to buy your book, Joy, because it's lovely, and I've got children, and I want to buy your book, so we can connect later on. So my book, okay, this book means a lot to me. The main reason why, of course, it has been a project for a very long time, but it meant a lot when I finished it, because I realized that in the last couple of years I was starting projects and not be able to finish them. So when I actually finished it and I've got it now in my hands, I said, oh wow, okay, wow, okay, now I'm serious. I mean, it was really thinking, I'm proud of yourself. I was just telling myself, I'm proud of myself. Of course, when it got released, of course, I'm Italian, and I decided to write the book in English for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because a trip to London, I thought I wanted to write the book in English, but I'm Italian and I know my limitation in the English language and in Italian language, because now I speak Spanish as well, so it's just a little bit of a mess. So A Trip to London came because it's a story of a girl, like many, that has dreams, and there was something that was blocking her, that she couldn't be able to pursue any dream, to finish any project, to do the things that she really liked to do. And one day, after a time of introspections, she decides, okay, I mean, something must change now, because there is something pushing to come out. So she's basically changing her whole life in 3 months, and she's moving from a very small, old-fashioned town in the middle of nowhere in Sicily where women are not considered like women, like human beings, but more like machines. And she decides to go to London. And she's really trying hard to, because her level of English is not perfect. So, but she's trying, and she manages to get a good job. She managed to get friends and a good position, economically independent, and she finds love at the end of it. So it's a romantic novel, and the meaning behind the novel is that if you really want to do something, no matter what, it is there, and it's always going to be there. I mean, you want to ignore it, ignore it. You can ignore it for the rest of your life, but it is there. If you want to do something, you have to listen to it, and you can do it. So this is the story. But the most important thing for me was a challenge with myself. And as I said, in the last couple of years, because of personal things happening in my life, I hadn't been able to start a project and to finish a project. But this book, it has been, it is there.
Can you not hear me?
It is in my hands. It's not perfect. I don't
Can
care.
you not hear me?
A lot of people might not like it. I don't care. Karen? Okay. So this is something that I find very important. I mean, when you write a book or you do something that is going to be for the public, you will be receiving some negative feedbacks. Feedback is a feedback. Negative, positive is a feedback. But you know, sometimes you feel like, oh my God, what these people going to think about what I wrote? Are they going to like it? Are they not? Some people are going to like it and some people are not. And this is for the best movie, the best book, the best person, the best singer, the best actor. That is just life. So if you receive like negative, or this is what I promised myself, if you receive any negative feedback, it's okay. It's still a feedback and it's still good. I'm going to improve for my next one.
That's brilliant. It sounds amazing. I can't wait to read it.
Good.
Now it's
Thank
going to be
you.
exciting.
I'm looking forward to reading it. Looks, sounds fantastic.
He hasn't got us in it as a summer.
Thank you.
Your exploits and has it got a lot of your sort of relationships in and things like that, or experiences and that sort of thing?
Sorry?
Has it got your sort of trips around the world and things like that? And
I didn't get you. Sorry, John.
I was just wondering whether you've got, you know, when you're doing your training over here and in Turkey and that, have you put anything like that in, or is it not?
Let's say that everything that is in this book, it comes from a little bit.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay,
A little bit from Karen, for example.
oh, okay.
Or the experience I had from you lately in the so yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
So there you are. If you're stuck for a Christmas present for your partner,
Yeah. Do you want to hold it up on the screen?
Silvana's book could be the book that you could potentially get.
You want to show us a screenshot again?
Screenshot of your book.
Have we got a screenshot, or have you got you?
I don't have it. I only have it here.
London.
Oh, by the way, I want to be, I'm proud of myself, okay? Because I designed everything. Everything is designed by me.
I was going to say, I love the cover.
Yeah.
Me too.
And the butterfly. And it took me a week that I designed it in Photoshop. As Katie was really it was crazy work, but it's okay. I did all the design and to, you know, it's a little bit of work when you're publishing it on Amazon as well, because Amazon is requesting exact measures. It has to be exact, and I was going crazy really. So yeah.
Brilliant.
I know what you mean, Silvana.
I know you have.
Yes.
Brilliant. Can't wait to get my hands on that one either.
Excellent.
Lisa.
So my next author is Billingham.
Yay!
And I think her book was called A New Chapter.
Katie, A New Chapter, yeah.
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 And I remember her telling a story once about Napoleon.
My boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't know whether Napoleon is in there, but if Napoleon isn't in there, maybe she would like to tell her story about Napoleon, because I think Napoleon is a good story for people to listen to as well as, and I think there ought to be a story with Napoleon in it for your book.
There is, funnily enough, there's quite a few characters in this book, and each one of them is going to have their own book. And this particular one, this character doesn't have the drink problem at the point of the book so much, but one of the others does. So he's kind of in there, but he's not Napoleon in this one, though. He's Jack.
Ah.
He's Jack in this one. So the main character is Katie, but the whole book is based on my experiences. It is a novel. I'll just do a screen share with you so you can see the cover. That's the cover. This was a last minute design, designed in 2 hours on Friday morning or Thursday morning. I'd got a designer who'd been working on it for a month, and I was let down quite badly. So in the end, I stopped her and I rang Bill Bishop, which I know some of you may or may not know from networking, and he designed the cover for me. But I don't know whether you can actually read that, but that's the blurb on the book as well. It touches on some quite tough subjects, because it touches on mental health, suicide, hysterectomy with no children, and very similar to Silvana, actually, battling demons and coming out the other side. Does she come out the other side? Who knows? But when I was in Fuerteventura for the second time, when I was working in Spain, I'd said for a long time that I was going to write a book, and I didn't know whether to do it as a self-help book, as an autobiography. Well, who's going to read an autobiography by somebody who's not known? And I thought, well, the easiest way and the best way to stop me getting sued is actually to do it as a novel. And this just touches on some of the experiences in my life, and the remainder of the characters, which is going to have a book for each one, is going to be some other things that I've been through. There are quite a few twists and turns in this book, and some things I think are going to shock some people. Some of these things I think will shock some of my friends, and it is a novel. Some of the things haven't happened to me, but have happened to other people, or they've not happened to me in that context that it happened. But it is based on my roller coaster of a life. But the idea, and I did work with an editor on it, and it kind of formed from notes of me thinking, well, that's good enough to be a book, into what it actually became, which is 75,000 words. And I think I still don't know how I did it. And when Karen said author, I'm like, oh my God, it just sounds so surreal. Author. I just think, but I was absolutely overwhelmed, because I've been marketing it since July. And I don't know whether any of you know Lynn Thomas. I started doing the marketing with her. I did her, what do you call it?
10-day challenge.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, she did a 5-day challenge. I did that with her, and then I had some time with her to get some of the other stuff really like tightened up on it. Because I'd known her for a few years, and I was like, I'll join that. Just pops up on your screen when you need it, doesn't it? So I did that, and I started marketing it in July. And when I actually published it, I don't know whether some of you are in my group on Facebook, and I posted in there that it was due.
Quick.
And I did a countdown and different things, and then I thought it was going to be delayed, but luckily the ebook still came out. Just stop the share so I can see people. The ebook came out on the right day, which was on the 20th, which was Friday, for the weekend reads. And then luckily the paperback actually did come out on Saturday. It came out at 3:30 in the morning. And somebody in my group messaged me to say that they bought it because they were up at 5:30. I was like, and I've had quite a few messages of people that I used to work with that have said that they bought it. And I'm quite surprised because I think the cover looks like a women's book, but because it touches mental health issues, that obviously affects anybody and everybody. The hysterectomy is quite a bit of the book, which obviously only affects women. But I think from a man's point of view, and my accountant read parts of the book, we book shared, read parts of the book, and he's like, oh my God, this is quite deep. But I think from a man's point of view that would read the book, they can potentially see what their wife or partner is going through while they're having the hysterectomy and then going through the menopause and things like that. It touches on it, but obviously it doesn't go into massive detail because it's a novel. But I've met a few people whose relationships have broken down because of the menopause and hysterectomies and things like that, because they're not easy to deal with. No issue, no operation, no surgery, no mental health issue is easy to deal with. And it's the knock-on effect of people around you. And I became conscious when I was writing it of what I was like when I was going through all this. And I'm thinking, Christ, you are horrible. But you don't know because you're not thinking straight. And that comes out in the book. It is quite deep and quite emotional. And when I was writing it, I thought, and I'd said to my friend, I've got to get some good bits in here, because when I sent it to my editor, to Kathy, I said, there's too much dark stuff in here, and it could have quite easily turned into a very dark thriller, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep it a little more light-hearted as the story goes on. So it does follow my feelings, my emotions and my experiences, but they're not in the right order because it's set in the 1990s. I didn't want it set in COVID, and I didn't want it set in the technological age with mobile phones. I wanted it to be real people in a real world. I mean, we're all in a virtual world now, aren't we, because of the situation? And I think that's one of the reasons why I set it in the 90s, because I wanted it before. She's got no mobile phone. She's not even got a phone in her flat. She's not got a television. Very, very basic, very simple. And the outcome is Katie, a new chapter. So it's quite, it's been well received so far. So like Silvana says, your feedback is feedback, isn't it? You know, I'm expecting some men to come back and go, oh my God, what are you talking about? And even some women going, well, what the hell are you talking about? But constructive criticism is how you improve. And obviously, if anybody spots mistakes in it, because I've self-published, it's easy to correct them. And then you can just re-upload and republish the book as many times as you like. Yeah. Which is one of the reasons why I self-published, because I thought, if you go through the publisher and you go down that road, they have quite a lot of say in it for very little return, from what my research has shown. And you also still have to market yourself. And I wanted to get rid of all the marketing, get somebody to do that, get somebody to publish it and just concentrate on writing. And when I looked into it with the publishing, first of all, you've got to be accepted. Then you've still got to market it yourself. And I thought, well, that's pointless. Then I'll just self-publish it. So I'd set the date as the 20th. I'd always said it was going to be November. And then I put an enormous amount of pressure on myself to get it done by November. But I'm glad I did, because I think if I hadn't have done, I would have just kept it on and on and on, and I'd never have published it. And I'm very much like Silvana, is I start a project and then I think, oh no, I'll move on to something else. Oh no, I'll do this. But this time I've actually finished it and I'm amazed, to be honest. But I'm just eagerly awaiting people's feedback now to see what they think. So, and I've been asked by a lot of people to sign copies. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that when all this dies down, which it will eventually, that I can do some book signings. Obviously one in like the Midlands area, and then I've got friends up north, I've got friends down south, I've got friends abroad. So I'm hoping that I can get some book signing dates and things going, because I'd like to move abroad again, and I'd like to work abroad again, but not as a travel rep. So she doesn't go on as a travel rep, by the way. She's not an alcoholic, and her boyfriend isn't Napoleon. But Jack's in there, so look out for Jack.
Jack.
Yeah. So yes.
Yeah. So very, very interesting. So that's two books. No, one's a child's book, but two books that potentially, I would say, if you're struggling to buy a present for your other half, I'd love to get my hands on, because even if you don't get a chance to read it during a normal week, what about when you go away on holiday?
Exactly.
That is the time when I tend to read a lot of novels, because I don't really want to take business books away with me. So, you've got Christmas, you're on holiday, so you could possibly start reading it. And I reckon once you start reading either of them, you won't be able to put them down.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Because that is when you're engaged in a book, when you can't put it down. And 3, 4, 5 hours have gone and you haven't moved because you want to know what's happening next, and you want more after the book is finished. So, exciting times for you 3 ladies.
Very.
Yeah. You could be the next J.K. Rowling.
Absolutely. My friend sent me a message the other day and said, this time next year you'll be a millionaire and you won't want to speak to me, you'll forget about me. I said, I'll buy you a coffee, don't worry about it. And then the designer who did my cover, Bill, who did my cover, I posted a recommendation, which I do, on LinkedIn and Facebook, and somebody commented on it and he put on there, don't forget me when you're in the next J.K. Rowling. Don't worry, I won't. But it's one of them, isn't it? It's now, it's out there, it's published, it's all about the marketing. It's the hardest part is the marketing. It's not writing the book, it's the marketing, because you've got to get it out there to the right audience and you've got to sell it, basically. And it's like slowly people have bought the Kindle version as soon as it was released. People have ordered in the paperback now. I haven't seen the stats, but people have messaged me, and some surprising ones as well, and some not so surprising. And it's just now about reviews, getting the reviews in, and really pushing it out. Once you get so many reviews on Amazon, Amazon will push it for you. And there's a new one that's come out, and it's called bookshop.org, and anybody who's an author, I would recommend actually look at bookshop.org. It's in a couple of groups that I'm in, and I'd seen a blog about it, and you have to publish through Gardeners in the UK. If you're publishing in the UK, you have to get a printed copy and you have to send them the book. And then they publish through bookshop.org, but you still need to publish it somewhere else because they don't publish, as far as I'm aware. When I was looking at it the other day, you have to have the book and you have to have a barcode as well, I believe. But it's apparently well in competition with Amazon, and by choice I would have preferred not to do Amazon, but it's the biggest, it's got the widest field, and I wanted to go worldwide.
Yeah.
So it was really the only choice.
Yeah.
You can't look anywhere else, can you?
You can't go to Ingram Spark.
Yeah, I've looked at them, but I've seen a lot of bad reviews on them.
Really?
And I thought, yeah.
Yeah, I checked that. There are a lot of just because you have published it on Amazon, you cannot use the same ISBN number.
Yeah.
You have to transfer it to them.
I bought my own ISBN numbers.
Me too. Yeah.
I didn't go through Amazon. I didn't use Amazon. So
No.
I bought 10, I think, and I'm like, oh, I better write the other books then.
Very good, yeah.
Right, but yeah, and I think you have to buy the barcodes for Gardeners and stuff like that, because that's one of the easiest ways to get it into bookshops now. But I would definitely recommend looking at it. I was going to go through Lulu and what's the other one, Barnes and Noble, but Amazon's got by far the biggest reach, and if you can get your marketing right, then there's no reason why you can't sell your books.
Yeah.
Despite everybody saying to me, well, what are you going to do now because you've written the book, but you've got to do something else? I'm like, well, it's all about the book now, isn't it? But it's one of them. It will open doors now, whether they're novels or business books, children's books, whatever. It will open doors.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We just look forward to the next bit. It's just a shame that everybody's like in lockdown, especially over here. God knows what's going to be going on. We're in one of the highest tiers at the moment, Dudley. So we don't look like we're going to be let out till after Christmas. But hopefully once things get back to normal, we can start planning proper, book launches and events and things like that. I'll find some way to do it.
Pages are in each of these books. I know Joy's probably not very many, but
mine's 330 something.
What about you, Silvana? How many pages?
Mine is I changed the format because at the beginning I wanted in smaller, because Amazon was forcing me to publish it in A5 is about 260 pages.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But it's all excited, isn't it?
Very.
I mean, I feel so proud of myself. I know you're feeling the same.
You should be.
This is like a baby. I've got 2 babies. I've got 3 rabbits. I've got 2 dogs, and I've got a frog also. Hey, hello, Saraj.
Hi.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm
But
fine.
this is a baby. This is a baby because if you think about it, this is like the way I see it, this is like a bucket where there is a lot of things that I have been putting in since a long time. And then when the bucket was nearly filled up, I said, okay, now it's time, because I've been saying so for such a long time I want to write a book. I've got so much to say. I've got so much to talk about. I am a talkative person in general. I'm very communicative. I'm very expressive. And when I realized that, okay, there is something that I'm missing in my communication, okay, write it down. And I mean, this is a baby for me. This is really a baby. It's got so much we should be proud of.
Yeah, definitely. If you ladies want to meet up, I mean, maybe the 3 of us could get together and share some ideas.
Yeah.
And if anyone else has, you know, done any books or interested in doing books.
The boy has.
Jay.
The boy in the
I'm a
Jay
corner.
published. Jay published before all of us.
The
Yeah,
boy in the corner.
Jay, you need to keep pushing your book. You need to keep
Yeah,
selling your book.
I
Of your
I-
book, Jay.
say again.
I said, do you want to give a quick review of your book?
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Well done. And I'm gonna
Go on, Jay.
I'm gonna go and get some more wine because I really want to listen to that.
Yeah, great idea, Karen.
Thank you. It's very gracious of you.
Lisa's
Sorry.
going for Silvana.
So I'll just wait for Silvana to get her top up.
The question is, Lisa, is that your second book?
First.
Oh, first.
First. Yeah.
Joy's is first as well, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, it's everybody's
Everybody's first book. Isn't it?
Everybody's first. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll make sure that I come to you guys for you know, for your businesses and things. It's so nice to feel supported, and I'd like to reciprocate that. I think it's really important.
Yeah. Well, you can share your details if Karen doesn't mind in the chat afterwards, because you can, if you share it in the chat, you can download it then, so everybody's got it.
Mm.
Good idea, Lisa.
So Jay
Jay's gonna
is
share.
Yeah, come on, Jay.
extra special guest tonight.
He's
I
a
was
bonus
expecting
guest.
this.
Bonus guest, bonus author. And he wrote a book going back, what, 2-3
Almost
years?
about 18 months ago.
Yeah.
And it's all about your speaking your brand, I believe. So over to you, Jay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, that's my book. It's called The Branding Nightmare, The Business Owner's Guide to the Most Common Branding Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. It is a business book, and it's basically about what not to do. So my branding journey has been quite a bit of a roller coaster. I've made just about every mistake in the book, pardon the pun. No, but I've made just about every mistake that and I've seen some even bigger mistakes others have made. So I thought, how can I actually encapsulate this and teach other people to help them to avoid those who are, when you're in business, when you're starting out in business, it is a bit of a nightmare. You know, getting everything right. There's so much to learn. It's a very steep learning curve, and I wanted to produce something that would help people to avoid some of the common mistakes with regards to their branding and their marketing. So I actually what's the word? Reverse engineered. Oops, pressed the wrong way. I actually reverse engineered my failures, and I came up with, and I also researched what does work, and also my own reverse engineered in my own successes, and I came up with a formula for failure, which I call dead brand syndrome. And it's 4 key areas where business owners fall down on. So you got your definition, your engagement, what I refer to as your apparatus, which is your toolkit, your tools, your websites, your branding materials, etc., and then your delivery. And those are the 4 areas where business owners frequently fall down on with regards to their branding. So hence dead brand syndrome. I then created a success system as an antidote for that, which was originally called Zest Your Brand, and that has evolved to Speak Your Brand, which is what I've been promoting for the past 18 months, I think. It's kind of been an evolution. So that's basically what the book is about. It does talk about Zest Your Brand. I wrote the book really as partly as a vanity piece and partly to establish myself as an expert in my field. Because you walk into a networking event and people say, what do you do? Oh, I'm a branding coach. Oh, okay. It's a bit of a so what factor, there could be, oh, you're another coach. But as soon as you say, and I'm an author as well, really? Oh, you must be good at what you do then. And people assume that, I mean, the book could be total rubbish for all they know. It's not. And I've had some really great reviews from international marketing experts. So it must be good if they've said that, if they've said so. But yeah, it was for me. It was, like I say, it was basically a branding exercise. I've not really promoted it because I never really wanted. I wasn't really intending to sort of make it into something to make an extra living out of. That being said, my focus has shifted. There will be a second edition coming out sometime next year, probably around about the summer next year. Actually, I would like it actually to be launched on the second edition to be launched on the same date as the first edition, because that's the date of my brother's passing. Sadly, my brother took his life about 5.5 years ago, and I've dedicated the book to his memory. So I want to do a second edition, and that will also be dedicated to his memory. I've also got a few ideas for novels as well, so watch this space. You're absolutely right what you said, Silvana. Writing a book, it's like your baby. I mean, I've got no children. Your children are your legacy. So that was another reason why I wrote the book. I have incidentally written a poetry book years ago, and I also worked on 2 anthologies for charity. So this is actually effectively my 4th book, but I've not really promoted any of them really as well as I should have done. Yeah, I've got, yeah. Watch this space for a second.
Jay.
Say again.
Get promoting, Jay.
Yes, I will do. I want to release the second edition before I start promoting it, because the first edition, things have evolved for me. My systems have evolved. So the book needs to be re-released, because a lot of the information is, would you believe it, in a space of 18 months, a lot of that information has gone out of date. But that's the nature of business, marketing and branding. You have to keep up, and particularly with technology, you have to keep up with it. So yeah, that's me.
Start marketing your new release now, then, Jay.
Yeah.
Start mentioning it. Start dropping reviews of your old one. Start doing it now all the time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that tip, Lisa. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. I mean, I haven't sold multi-millions, and probably haven't sold 100, but I have got people that have now bought it as soon as it was released, and they wouldn't have done, I guarantee they wouldn't have done, if I hadn't been marketing it since July and sharing my story on social media. Some of them know me, and they're just being nosy, but others have been like, they don't know me well. I used to work with them like 15 years ago. I know them in passing, but they come out the woodwork and they're like, I've been watching you, I've just bought it. And they're like, oh my God. And it is amazing how much difference it makes. I'm talking to 2 people who are very, very well connected. They're both writing books, and neither one of them is marketing. Neither of them are on Facebook. Neither of them are on Instagram. Neither of them are on Twitter. And I'm like, so how do you propose to sell your book then?
Yeah, you're so right. You're so right. It's one thing. I think Silvana also said it, didn't you? It's one thing to write a book. It's quite another to market it. And you've got to get out. You've got to get out there, and you've got to do all different types of media, messaging, videos, YouTube, readings. So event, So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Great.
Right.
Right. So that was our extra special guest, Jae-lex Linsey,
Yeah.
Thank you.
promoting
Nice
his
one,
book.
Jay.
So if you're in business and you want a business Christmas present,
Yep.
contact Jae-lex Linsey. He's on Facebook and he's also on LinkedIn. So if you want a book, a business book, contact Jay.
Thank you. I'm also on YouTube as well. So yes, one of the things which has come kind of indirectly from the book was I've actually recently launched my own vodcast, which is a video podcast. So it's called the Speak Your Brand Show, and if you go to my my YouTube channel, which is Jae-lex TV, that's Jae-lex TV, you can watch the show. So yeah, thank you, Karen.
Yeah. So, you know, if you want, you've got something that you want to promote for free at the moment. I mean, there might be a charge later on once this becomes successful, but at the moment it is free. If you want to promote, get in touch with me, because you never know where it could end. You know, the people that could see it, especially as it goes on to YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the more people that share it, the better.
Absolutely.
So if you would all like to let me know your email addresses, then I can post you the copy of the video. Either private message me.
I've posted mine in the chat.
Yeah.
My email.
I'll
All my details are in the chat. Yeah.
I'll be doing that on Tuesday, not on Monday.
Well, Siraj is writing a book as well. We have a book party, Siraj.
Yeah, that'll be really nice. I'm writing.
Yeah.
They know, and Kat, they all know that I'm writing a poetry book. It's nearly there, and I'm
Nice
writing a
one.
business book as well. So
Oh, fab.
So-
Join my group and post it in there.
pardon?
They like giving my group like giving feedback on Facebook.
Okay. Cool.
My group, when I set my group up, when I started marketing it, they have actually shaped the book. Because I just post in there, what do you think of this particular part of chapter 1, or this is the bit I'm working on now, and other people do as well. Other people share their stuff. There's one guy who's seriously ill and he wants to get his book written before he passes, and he's decided to join my group to do it, which I was quite emotional actually when he said it. And we're in touch outside the group as well. I don't know him, and I didn't know him until he joined the group. And he's put in like his input, and he's posting bits in, and he's like, when I've written this, I'm going to post it in there, and a couple of others have posted their work in there. A lot of them are quite shy people, and he's just giving them a confidence boost. But yeah, and they're quite nice at coming back and giving feedback, so which has helped me, because somebody just mentioned something. I thought, oh, I can put that in the book. And I think Mandy, who's on this call, is it Mandy? Yeah, I think Mandy was one. I think Mandy's mentioned something on there as well, which is something that I put in the book as well. So it's really good, because you get almost the reviews before you release the book, if you know what I mean, because that's what people want. They want to read it, then you write it in there.
Interesting.
So it's quite.
It's really nice to know lots of authors and people, and it's amazing. I mean, Silvana, I've only known for this year. Is it right? Is that this year? So it's quite interesting that she's like released a book. I didn't even know she was writing one.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? That's what marketing.
You
got two.
We got two.
I didn't even know.
The other one ready, and it's like, okay, come on, I'm getting jealous now.
Do it.
Come on, the other one. I'm getting jealous, and I'm like, I don't have time for you now, but I've got the other one ready.
And then I met Joy, I think, I don't know, a couple of months ago. So that was quite, you've written children's books, is that right? So
yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Did you read poem as well. Did you read us a poem about
I did.
about
Keep that
Terry?
quiet. Keep that quiet because that's going to have a really amazing launch. That one's going to have. So
That is amazing. We do all need to get behind that and share that because it's
I've got a big plan on that one. So
right.
And I haven't even told Karen what I'm doing yet. So
Okay,
it's
yeah.
going to be really, really exciting. I've got really some amazing ideas of what I'd like to do with that one. So
Fantastic.
so yeah, quite
Exciting.
So
Yeah.
do you want to say something, Joy?
Oh, sorry. I was going to ask you, Karen, would you mind dropping your YouTube channel in the chat and we can all like and subscribe to it?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, I will do if I can sort that out. Can you?
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure.
No pressure. Now.
Share screen.
No, not share.
I just wanted to make sure we supported you as well.
The YouTube channel. What are you doing?
I didn't know that. So do you need to go to YouTube?
Yeah.
Is it my lady, Millie Martin?
Can I just ask you a question, ladies? Those that have launched, I know Jay's got a lot of experience as well. But like, what sort of time scale would you say it is from the time you decided to write a book to it being published, or does it depend on what you're writing? I'll ask Silvana because I know she's just released hers first.
Okay. It depends. I think the writing time, it completely depends on you. I can tell you that I had days that I wrote 2 chapters, and then I had 4 or 5 days that I was writing like half a chapter, and I was like, oh, this is shit. I can't even look at it. You know, get rid of it. So it does take, because there are a lot of things, because when this is my experience. When I was writing it, I was reading it over and over again, and I was like, okay, how does it feel? Does it feel good? And when I was like, okay, now it feels good, then I could move on to the next chapter. But I think that it does not take, if that is what you want to do and what you're waking up in the morning for, it doesn't take longer than 4 or 6 months. Really.
That's full time.
Full time, absolutely.
Okay. How about you, Lisa?
Mine was, oh, why is my screen gone dark? That's very strange.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a bit bizarre. It's gone dark, hasn't it? That's really weird. We can't see me. Mine took 8 months. I started it when lockdown started, basically.
Okay.
And I'd had ideas and I'd made notes before, but I really concentrated on it full time since lockdown started. So it was 8 months from like initial conception, because some of the notes that I'd got before I didn't use because I'd done it originally as like a self-help type of autobiography, and then I changed it to a novel. So I couldn't use any of that. So I started, 8 months, 9 months.
That's wonderful.
Start to finish.
Was it hamster or?
And what about Joy?
I think I've sort of been trying to launch mine for the last year. So I've been doing a lot of build-ups. I've been doing a lot of research, connecting with people, introducing people very slowly to the brands and to comfort items. So yeah, I think do as much as you can, and I sort of wish I'd have done more, really, but you have to balance it out, because you know you need to sort of do your day job, the thing that puts money on your table, and then I've sort of done the book as in the background. So I mean, you can very easily get distracted with it, and I think there's a risk that you know about the money side of things. So But yeah, I mean, we can all get together and chat if you like separately, share
That'd be good, yeah.
ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That'd be
definitely.
nice.
Would be
Yeah,
nice.
radio contacts and that as well. You know, we can all, if we all share and work together, I think we'll really help each other. So
Yeah.
That'd be good.
yeah.
And what about yours, Jay? How long did yours take? The branding one?
2 years.
2 years, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
But that's
no,
knowledge
no.
as it goes,
No.
yeah.
Tell. It took me to if you were to squash all the time together, probably about 6 months. But
Yeah.
it took me 2 years to actually, from conception. And initially, I was just brain dumping stuff onto the. Well, actually, the first chapter was originally going to be a talk, like the script for a talk, or like a video or something.
Okay.
And I showed it to a friend of mine who's got a lot of experience, business wise, and she said to me, "Well, it's too wordy for a talk, but I'll tell you what, that would make a very, very good introduction to a book." And that's all that I think that's what's switched me on to the idea. Really, me write a book. Well, hang on a minute. I've done 3 poetry books. I've never done a business book before. So, and for me, it was I had to battle against my own self-sabotage and my own, and that's something that I didn't put in the first edition, but I will be putting in the second edition, is pushing through what do you call it? Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome. Thank you, everyone. Working through imposter syndrome and self-sabotage, because the imposter syndrome can lead to self-sabotage, because you self-sabotage yourself because you don't believe, excuse me, you don't believe that you deserve it, and you don't believe that you're worthy, and you I mean, like one of the things I say in my keynote talk that I've done, I Can, I Will, I Am, is I talk about when I was with my wife, and I said to her the one time, I said, do you think it's possible to know something but not believe it? And she looked at me and said, yeah, that's a strange thing to say. What do you mean? And I said, well, I know that I'm good at what I do. I've been told that, and I've got some really good testimonials. I don't believe it. I don't believe I deserve it, and it took me a long time to actually push through that, and to actually, it was actually coaching that actually pushed, and that's one thing I would say to anybody who is struggling with self-sabotage, with imposter syndrome, or with self-limiting beliefs, or that self-negative talk. Get yourself a coach, whether it's a book writing coach to give you the motivation and the encouragement to write the book, or whether it's a business coach with regards to if you want to go into business, or whatever it is. Get yourself a coach. I mean, I remember I was going through I was doing websites at the time, and logos and stuff, and that's my branding background. And I said I was going through my portfolio to put it onto Facebook, and I suddenly realised, actually, this is good. This is pretty good stuff. This is.
Good for you.
Thank you. And I posted on Facebook. I made a comment on Facebook. I was thinking, damn, I'm good. I was like, I posted on Facebook, just been going through my portfolio. I must have, even I say to myself, I'm really impressed with my work, really pleased with my work. And I am the dog's bollocks of websites. And and my coach at the time, she read it and she was like, hallelujah, at last. And that's what she said. That's what she commented, at last you've actually, the penny's dropped. But that was a pivotal moment in my life. when my mindset switched and my self-belief, I suddenly realized, well, actually, yes, I am good at what I do. And that was at the point where I stopped undercharging and started charging a price, a ticket price that I actually deserved, and that actually reflected my experience and the value of what I provide. And that's one of the things I talk about in my book is your pricing. You've got to get your pricing right. And I do talk about money as well, because I think that's something that if you have a money block, I mean, Lisa, I think we've had discussions about this in the past.
Yeah.
If you if you have a money block, it will affect you will self-sabotage yourself unconsciously. It will affect your ability to promote yourself, to brand yourself, and it will have adverse effects. Even whether it's a money block because you don't believe you deserve that money, or because you've got a negative self-limit or a negative limiting belief about money, that you think the money is some kind of a bad thing, or maybe there's that scripture in the Bible which is so often misquoted, that money is the root of all evil. That's not the quote. That's not that's not the accurate quote, by the way. But that's what people believe, that money is the root of all evil, and it's not. Money is a tool at the end of the day, and it's what you do with that tool. It's one of the things I talk about is money is like a knife. If you think about it, a knife is a tool, and you can use that tool to cut and prepare food, to eat food with, to shape and carve a piece of wood into a beautiful sculpture. You can use a knife as a screwdriver if needs be. There's so many things good things you can put a knife to use with, but conversely, you can also put that knife to bad uses, harmful uses. You can maim and kill people. You can use it to do graffiti and to vandalize. There are so many things negative things that you can use a knife for, and money is the same. It all comes down to the person it all comes down to the person who's holding that knife, what they choose to do with that knife, or they choose to use it for a good purpose or a bad purpose. And it's exactly the same with money. If you are I believe that if you are at heart, in the deepest depths of your soul, if you are a good, kindly, generous, giving person, and the more money you have, it will just magnify that, and you will become a more generous, kindly, giving, magnanimous, philanthropic person. Whereas if you are a total schmuck, if you are a nasty person, and you use whatever resources you have to walk all over people, then the more money you have, the bigger schmuck you will become. So that's anyway. I'm talking too much. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah. So I'll end the recording there.